This is the last session. Wow. Already. I have a question. So do you feel like you know each other a little better? Yeah. Really? How did you feel about the discussion? You might have been mad at me for making you talk, but did you learn something?
Of course.
Yeah? Do you like that part of the retreat?
Yes.
Okay. I was thinking that maybe it was probably the best part of the retreat, really, because it brought all the wealth of Christ together. Wow, if you think about that, that's powerful. That's powerful for this weekend. We have a wonderful section to end with. It's magnificent, really, when you think about it. It's all about what God's provided so we can get through all this suffering and this challenging life. He's given us some tools, and He's also taking a step back and reviewing, where are you? And have you understood? Do you get it? And if you don't, it really should send you back. Look back then and go back through it. Because at the very end, we're going to talk about the confidence that Romans 1 through 8 is to develop. It's one of the tools. It's a wonderful tool. I just want you to be thinking about your own personal life as we go forward. Think about what areas in your own personal life, you're not going to share this part, but take just a few minutes and think about what areas that you personally need to study a little bit more. If one of them is the creature in creation, put that down. But I don't know if you're the same as me, but once I walk out of here, it's like whoosh, it goes right out. And now's a good time to write it out. What are you going to study? What are you going to do different? What should you do different? What is God, the Spirit, telling you? Wow, I need to do this. Don't let it go right out. That wouldn't be good, because then, for me, my goal would be to stir you up and then go with it, whatever it is. If this has been impacting, that's what I would suggest. So, okay, let's get right into the verses then. Romans 8, 26 to 30. Things to think about as we're going through the verses. Study helps. The importance, I'm just going to kind of say them ahead, and then I might talk about them or I might forget. So I just want you to know about them. Purpose, as you're reading and as you're going through your day, to walk by faith. Purpose, to take what you've studied that day and live it. Talk with your husband about it. Talk about what you're not doing. Have him help you. Pray together about it. I encourage you to do these things. Or your best friend. This would be also good. However, whatever your relationships are, get a study partner and start studying together. But purpose, as you're going forward, to walk by faith. Reflection point. What is this? We're going to be really talking about that in verse 31 through 38. It's a reflection point for 1 through 8, really, that last section. We'll get to that in a minute. But what that is, basically, it's stepping back and thinking, do I understand this? Like, for instance, Romans 6:1. What shall we say then? Doesn't that tell you? Sit back and think now. Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? That's a reflection point. So that's important. That's an important study tool. And I have these all written at the back. And if we have time, we'll go through them a little bit more. As you're studying, as you're living, look to apply the Word. Look for application as you're studying. One time through Romans, through Philemon, just look for application opportunities. And look, study for different purposes. Study to find helping words. Study to find series of questions, because that's another one. There's going to be a series of questions. Think about, why are they there? Why would Paul put 6 or 7 questions in a row? I think there's one chapter in Corinthians, there's 21 questions right in a row. Wow, that's a heads up. There's something there that he wants to get your attention with. And then Be led by the Spirit as you're reading. Pray to be led by the Spirit. Take the time before you start reading to pray and studying. And it really makes a difference because it's you talking to the Father, being led by the Spirit. Okay, let's read verses 26 through 30. Anybody like to do that section? Sue, go ahead.
Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought. But the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. And he that searches the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of God. We know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, then he also called. And whom he called, then he also justified. And whom he justified, then he also glorified.
Okay, thank you. That's a big section. You didn't really think I'd get this far, did you? After Friday, we didn't even hit any verses. So we'll do it. We'll do it. Okay, this section is just a listing of some of your tools that God designed for you to get through this life. Likewise, the Spirit also, besides the fact that you have this hope that gives you the ability to patiently wait through this time period that you've been left here. Because is this a hard life or no? Even if you have a good life, and you know what, this country, we have a good life. Compared to some of the things, I look at The Voice, I don't know if you've ever heard of The Voice of the Martyr. I like that magazine myself. It really motivates me. And there's other magazines showing where people are, how destitute they are. We have everything. We have everything. And so, but we still need hope. We still need patience because you know what? It's a hard life. We have a different kind of hard. We go through a lot different kind of hard things. And this country is changing. And it motivates me more and more to stir the doctrine up and help people to stir other people up because you know what? Things could change a lot. And we're going to need this. We're going to need the Word. And not a lot of people are going to have the Word strong built in their soul so that they're going to be able to stay the course. And they're they don't understand what suffering's about. They're not going to maybe understand the sin and the grace cycle. It'll be grievous. And yet, there'll be you. And there'll be us. And that's what we're here for. So, he gives us some tools to help us through. Because you know what? Even though we live in a great country, it's true. We've got some hard things. I don't know, I've had some hard things. And I didn't navigate them well sometimes. When I think about it, I could have done a lot differently. But you know what? We're under grace. And you know what? Did I learn from it? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? Do I have a whole bunch of stuff under my belt like you to share with other people? Oh, yeah. God turns everything around for our good. We're getting there. That's down the road here. Okay, but the Spirit helps our infirmities. He's a helper. That's one of His roles. God is slowly telling us about what the role of the Spirit is. And it says, why do we need somebody to help us? For we know not what to pray for as we ought. Did we talk about that yet? Why? Why don't we know? Anybody know? We don't. If you think about how Paul laid out his epistles, Romans 1 through Romans 16, we're just in Romans 8. And we're just now getting to as an adult believer. You're just starting that, stepping up to the plate to be an adult believer and adopted into God's business. Of course you don't know yet. And we're still learning. And the Spirit, while we're learning and growing, He's helping us along. Of course He would. He's given us everything. So we're not at a loss for anything. So it says, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. Now I've heard different perspectives on this. The Spirit's doing the groaning or the person's doing the groaning. I'm leaning toward the fact that it's the person doing the groaning, because that's in the context. The person is groaning together, in pain together, and the Spirit is taking those groanings and He's making intercession. We don't even know what to pray for sometimes. Our family, I have my own family issues to pray for, and I don't even know what to pray for. It's like, wow, and once I came into the grace message, I'd like you to talk about this in your groups. Let me see, that's coming up. In fact, that'll be really next. I'd like you to think about, did you lose your prayer life along the way? I don't know about you, but I did. Why is that? Why did we lose it? What happened? So how about if we go into groups right now? Page 12.